How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the Mina channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that I had on my mind for the last couple of weeks because of the release of Resident Evil. So some of you guys know I've been playing Resident Evil Village, which I already finished the game, and some people have commented on the length of the game. Now I want to preface this by saying it's really weird because every single time that a new Resident Evil game comes out, this talk comes back every single time. Everybody is like, oh, this game was too short. I'm like, all the Resident Evil games are too short. Literally, the length of the average game of any Resident Evil game is between 8 and 10 hours long. Some even go as far as like maybe 12 hours. But they're not really long games, and I don't know why people go into these games expecting them to be long. They're just not long, and they're not really meant to be long. They're meant to be replayed multiple times. They're arcade style horror games. I don't know if that's the best way to describe them. They have a lot of arcade elements to them, like the Mercenaries mode, which is a different mode where you play over and over again until you unlock more points. It's like a point system where you really go out of your way to kind of like improve your score and unlock bigger weapons. There's multiple unlockables that you do as you replay the game. You can even unlock crazy things, like you can unlock a lightsaber and a unlimited machine gun and like all kinds of crazy weapons that you can unlock as you gain more points and everything like that. That's the purpose of the game. That's how the game was made. On the other hand, you have games that are really long, like Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal or Persona 4 or any of the Shin Megami Tensei games, and a lot of people go into these games thinking, man, I've seen people complain about the length of the game. I've seen people say that they are maybe too long or something like that. So that's like on the other side of the spectrum, where you go into these games knowing you don't play a JRPG thinking, oh man, I'm gonna spend 20 hours playing this game. I feel like most people that go into a JRPG, they definitely know they're gonna be long games. So at the same time, this conversation between like really long games and really short games, or like something in between, I feel like it's a weird conversation to have, because I personally don't think that it really matters. Fun fact, whenever I first started talking about reviews in my channel, I had the idea to talk about the fun factor, like how much fun I had in a specific game. And I kind of just I was thinking of, like, I know a lot of people look at a game in kind of like the story and the gameplay and like all these different elements, but at the end of the day, you can play a game that has maybe horrible gameplay or a game that has horrible story and still enjoy certain aspects of it. Like, I played games, for example, online games. There are games that have literally no story whatsoever, and the purpose of it is just to enjoy the game. Just the experience of it is really what matters. On the other hand, there are games that are just made for a story purpose or anything, and all these games can go in lengthy different directions. For example, the one of my other series that I really like, which is the Life is Strange games. Those games aren't long either. You can definitely finish them in a sitting or two. They're maybe about 6 hours long. Catherine Full Body is also not a long game. You can probably finish it in about like 8 to 10 hours. These games aren't made to be long. It's just like the experience of it, like going around and making the choices and decisions that you make and that kind of stuff. That itself is the game. So some people look at that and like, oh, really don't like the gameplay and that kind of game or anything like that. And it's just kind of like, that's how the game was made. Maybe, like, I feel like sometimes we look at something and like, even like somebody that's not playing a game and just looking at like a stream, or maybe looking at it in like a different, like, I don't know, just maybe they just look at the length of the game and like, oh, 10 hours isn't a long time. But I don't know, I just personally just look at it as kind of like how much fun I am making or having in a game, regardless of what the game is, matters so much more to me than just how long the game is. Like, there's some games, for example, a lot of the Ubisoft games, like the Far Cry games or the Assassin's Creed games, that I always, like, I buy them every single time that they come out, and within like 20 hours or 30 hours I'm done with the game. Not because I have finished the game, but because the fun out of the game that I had is just that's it. Like, I ran out of fun to do, ran out of fun things to do. They're like busy games, they're games that are made for you to go to point A to point B, and you explore and you get items and you get unlockable things, and then you go to the next area, and then you unlock more things, and you do more things. Those things are busy, and sometimes I find fun in that. But sometimes at the same time, I'm like, I never finish Ubisoft games for some reason. And I love some of the Far Cry games. I love some of the Assassin's Creed games, but for some reason it's really hard for me to actually finish them all the way. And it's not because they're long, because I can sit down through long games. Like I finished several playthroughs of Shin Megami Tensei and Persona games, several playthroughs of Final Fantasy games, several playthroughs of other RPGs that are definitely longer than 20-40 hours. So it's just a bizarre scenario where I just run out of the amount of fun that I have with that particular game. So to me, like, a length of a game does not matter as much as how much fun and how much enjoyment I am having with the particular game that I'm having or playing at this point. That's pretty much what I want to come across in this discussion video today. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this? Do you agree or disagree? Do you think that length in a game actually matters? Or does it only matter in some aspects where there are some aspects in situations where I can actually do agree where length does kind of matter? Like when there is an issue with the pacing, maybe the game was too long for like no reason. Or on the other hand, when there is a game that was hyped off beyond belief, like The Order, for example. If you guys don't know about The Order, that's definitely an interesting. It was one of the very few PlayStation 4 games that came out. It was really hyped. It was a game that people had a lot of hopes for because it actually looked really good. So a lot of people were really excited for it. They were hoping for this game to be good and everything. And the game kind of finally comes out, and it's about 5 hours long. 5 hours. Now, to a lot of people, they'll be like, oh man, that's really short. And to be honest with you, not only is it short, it's really bad because it ends at a spot where you don't have a beginning. You have a beginning, you have a middle, but you don't really have an ending. It ends at a cliffhanger, but you definitely feel like they could have done more with the story moving forward, kind of having an epic conclusion to what's going on and everything. But no, the ending is literally just that. Like, you go through another mission and then it's over. You don't really get an enjoyment out of like the final aspects of the game or anything like that. So that's pretty much what I want to come across here. Yes, I understand there are games and there are situations where you play certain games and they do feel like the length of a game does matter, but like in grand scheme of things, I feel like a lot of games are made in a specific length because of certain reasons. Like, again, Resident Evil games are made for specific length because the story doesn't really allow them to do like really long sections, and if they had really long sections of gameplay, I feel like that would be maybe too busy and maybe too boring for some people. I don't know, there's situations where I can see like it just like not working out right, and I just feel like the length of the Resident Evil games works pretty well. The length of the Shin Megami Tensei games or the Persona games work really well. Like, I have no complaints whatsoever as far as the length of short games, long games, and everything. Again, as long as the game is really well written and structured in like the gameplay aspect and in obviously the story, I don't think that there should be a reason why you can enjoy a short game. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. If you're new, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this? Agree, disagree? I don't know, let me know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Thursdays, which is Hot Take Thursdays. Let me know in the comments below what episode you want next for Hot Take Thursday. Thank you again. Have a good day. Bye bye.